Welcome to Sports Corner with Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier. And now here's your host, Ralph Williams and Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Yeah, good afternoon and welcome to a very special edition, and I mean a special edition of the Sports Corner Show. My name's Ralph Williams. I'm your host, and along with Smokin' Jim Frazier, who's on the phone with us, and we'll get him on here in just a moment. All right, a little bit of Van Halen there for you, and right now, yes, absolutely, right now we're getting started with the Sports Corner Show, special Thursday edition. We're talking about the NFL draft and a whole lot more here today. I have Leo Haggerty coming up and Troy ODEGARD also coming up as well. Troy will be joining us in a few moments. I just sent him the invite, so we're all set with him. Also, don't forget to tune into our other or our usual time on Tuesdays from 4 to 5 p.m. But we're doing 2 hours all the way up to the NFL draft. Reason being is because we have the draft coming up. I have some guys that come on that are covering these teams, all 32 teams I'm working on getting. Our final show until May the 12th, or I'm sorry, May the 13th, will be April 22nd, which is 2 days before the draft. April 22nd will be our last show. We're going to have some guys on. I'm going to try to get 4 guys on, and we're going to finish up our 32-team roundtable. Next week, we'll also have Tuesday and Thursday shows until we get up to the 22nd. All right, so, and then after that, whatever we have covered, we're going to cover, and so on and so forth. I got a little behind the 8 ball. I apologize for that. I had to take care of some personal matters in Ocean City, Maryland. So we were off for a couple of weeks and got a little behind. So, but that's fine. We're going to get back ahead here as soon as we can. All right. Smokin' Jim, welcome to the program. How are you today?
All right. Yeah, I'm happy to be on. Thanks, Ralph.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you know it. This is a special Thursday edition. It's great to have Smokin' Jim here with us today. And we're not going to get into our rant segment because that's on our usual day on Tuesday. We're going to go straight into our first guest. And I'm waiting for Troy to get here. And they're going to be on at the same time. Is Leo Haggerty. Leo, welcome to the program. Welcome back. You're always welcome on this show, as you know. Leo and I also with Scott Morganroth and with also with Scott Morganroth. And also we have a special guest of our choosing. We do a show on Saturday as soon as I can find it here. Let's see where we at here. There we are. No, that's not it. There we go. Okay, I found it right here. The Sports Wrap Show every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X platform, and the Huddle Sports Network. Now, today we're not on the Huddle Sports Network and also the South Florida Tribune. We're not on the South Florida or the South Florida or the Huddle Sports Network today because of there's prior programming on there as well. But I want to show everybody something here. I got a nice picture of Leo Haggerty with Scott Morganroth. There we go. How about that? Right from the women's Final Four. Scott and Leo had the distinct privilege of being there for the event. And so, it was a great event, of course, and it was 4 great teams. Real quick, Leo, tell us a little bit about that. How did that go? How was it and whatnot?
Well, you know what, Ralph? Sadly, the games weren't competitive because Connecticut's that good. South Carolina beat Texas. That was close for a half, and then Madison Booker got in foul trouble. That was all she wrote for the Longhorns. But Connecticut just destroyed UCLA and then did the same thing to South Carolina. And You know what, Ralph? I have my records that will never be broken column that I put up today. Guess what their record is?
What's
12
that?
NCAA championships by Gino Auriemma. 12.
Wow. That's
John
great.
Wooden's got 10. Here's the amazing thing. If you look at coaches now that are active, Kim
Correct.
Mulkey has 4. Dawn Staley's got 3. But in the men, you don't have anybody more than 2. You got Bill Self, you got Rick Pitino, and you got Dan Hurley. That's it. You know, you're talking about having to come up with 8, 9, or 10 national championships just to be in a conversation with Gino. And the problem is he's still coaching. He may get 13, 14, or 15.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. He could. He's a great coach. He's been around a long time. Smokin
I'll tell
Jim.
you what, Ralph.
Oh, hang on.
Tampa rolled out the red carpet. And again, USF was the host, Brian Seacrest, and his crew did a masterful job. And the city of Tampa, man, oh man, rolled out the red carpet for the women's Final Four, and it went off like clockwork. 19,000 plus.
Wow. Wow, that was great. At least Tampa showed up for that. That's great. That's super duper. Also, Smokin Jim, say hello to Leo. Forgot to get into that.
My man Leo, how you doing, buddy?
Smokin Jim, another day in paradise down here.
Yeah, you got that right. All right. Okay, Leo, let's get started with the meat and potatoes here. Let's talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Raheem Morris is our head coach. What's your thoughts on this year's draft for them and also their free agency, and what do you expect for this season from the Atlanta Falcons?
You know, let's deal with a couple things right out the bat.
All
you
right.
know what? Atlanta started out like a house of fire, and they beat the Buccaneers twice and beat the Eagles. So this was a pretty good football team. And all of a sudden, it collapsed. And I think what happened was that the offense did not fit the quarterback. I mean, Kirk Cousins is an under center play action guy. And the guy that came in from the Rams, you know, he wants, you know, a quick hitting, you know, bing, bang, bong offense, get in the shotgun, come up, you know, this type of thing. But I think now they got the right quarterback in Michael Penix. The question is, what's Atlanta going to do? Are they going to go back to Cousins? Because I don't doubt for a second when he said, you know, I was playing hurt. Well, if you watch the quarterbacks on HBO, that's weekly special, the hit Kirk Cousins takes is beyond belief. So, yeah, was he hurt? Probably. But this offense fits Michael Penix more. And the big person they're going to have to replace, Ralph, is Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett moved on. They're going to have to draft 2 things that every team needs to draft: an edge rusher and a cornerback. Then they need to look at offensive line. But again, I'm going to start with the edge rushers. And there's 3 candidates that I'm hearing. One is Mike Green out of Marshall. The other is Shamir Stewart out of Texas. And then Mikey Williams out of Georgia. Now, I don't think you can ever go wrong with a Georgia defender. I mean, they're good. I mean, look at what the Eagles got. They got Davis and Carter playing those defensive tackles. So you're getting a lineman. What scares me about Mike Green at Marshall, and I learned this from Carmen Perone, who was the head scout of the New Orleans Saints when I broke in and I cut my teeth with our lad scouting service. He said, do not get married to a one-trick pony. And here's the problem. These guys are basically speed rushers, and they don't have another move. It's not that they don't have one. They don't need one because they're so much faster. Well, guess what? They're going to get to the next level, and they better have a spin move. They better have a rip move. They better have a bull rush, because that speed rush, that's not going to cut it every play. So, again, you know, you rip, swim, boom, the whole bit. You got to come up with those. And the fact that we don't see them means you got to extrapolate as to how you think they're going to play. We know they got the speed rush, but the question is, what do they have with it? And right now, when you're looking at all the edge rushers, 75 to 80% of their moves are basically speed rush moves. That bodes well in the NCAA. What's it going to do in the National Football League? You know what National Football League stands for, Ralph? Not for long. You better have a secondary move.
Exactly. You got to have more than just one move. If you don't, you're not going to do well at all in the NFL. I mean, it's as simple as that. And the game is different, too, in the NFL, Leo. You know that, and I know that, and Smokin' Jim knows that the speed of the game is a whole different thing. And, you know, sometimes some of these guys just don't excuse me, I got to say it like Mike Tomlin. Some of these guys really can't, you know, adjust to the NFL. But we'll see what happens this year with some of these draft picks. Smokin' Jim, any questions for Leo?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, Leo, how about free agency? What are they looking at this year in free agency, signing anybody or looking at anything?
Well, they're always going to look for an edge, and you're always going to look for a corner. And, you know, that's just the nature of the beast. If they got to go with a draft pick, I'm looking at the kid from Michigan, Will Johnson, cornerback. Real good athlete, good man-to-man guy. But again, when you're drafting where the Falcons are, and the Falcons got a whole bunch of real negative press because here they signed Kirk Cousins, and then they
drafted Michael Penix.
Well, guess what?
Yeah. They
got a guy sitting there who could be a 10-year quarterback for them. Why not take him? Because you're assuming you're never going to pick ninth again. And I think they're right because, you know, Kirk Cousins gave them enough wins to get there. You know, they're middle of the pack now. They're probably picking, I think, 12, 13, 14, 15 in there. But you're not going to get a quarterback that low in the draft. The fact that Michael Penix was still there at 9 when they picked, that's outstanding.
Oh, yeah. Do you think that Raheem Morse in his second season will be able to get this team back up and
Oh, I think he will. And again,
you know, over the hump a little bit here. I know in 5-6 games. No.
Yeah, I think they will, Ralph, because the National Football League, the smartest thing they do is the teams that didn't have good seasons don't play a strong schedule. Yeah, you're going to play your conference, but now you're going to catch the second and third place teams, depending upon where you finish. Yeah, the Buccaneers are going to get the number 1 seed in every place they play. But now Atlanta, New Orleans, and Carolina, they're going to get the bottom parts of the schedule. They're going to get teams like if they're playing the AFC East, which I think they are, you know, you're going to end up with the Jets. You're going to end up with the Patriots, which they're not really good teams. Right. So, you know, they're going to have to work the same way.
No, not at all. No, not at all. I agree with you 100% on that. Leo, what are your thoughts on the draft as a whole? And I know you cover the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. We've spoken about them. I've had you on before in regards to them. But also, what do you think of this draft? Who goes first? Who goes last? What, as far as the quarterbacks go or whatever, what do you think is going to happen in this draft?
Well, Ralph, I preached to you last year and it didn't work. I said the best guy in the draft was Jaden Daniels. It wasn't Caleb Williams. And I can remember my brother, who's in Chicago, former offensive lineman, he said, what people are failing to realize is that Caleb Williams does not process quickly. No. And he's not going to have 4 or 5 seconds like he did at USC to look over the defense. And that's exactly what happened in Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah, the game was moving far too fast for him. And it seemed like And I've said this many times, and I've heard this from many people, many guys that I've had on the show here. We talk about the speed of the game. And, a lot of times some of these quarterbacks that are drafted number one get thrown right into the fire immediately. And Caleb Williams was one of them last year. And, sometimes I think you should draft the number one quarterback and let him sit at least one, maybe 2 seasons, like Jordan Love and a few of these other people, that they let sit. And look at Jordan Love now. He's not a bad quarterback. So, I mean,
Ralph, when I sat down with Carmen Perrone when I first started this, I said, what's the one thing I got to learn about the draft? He said, the number one first-round pick, he's going to play now. But he had a caveat. He said, unless they're a quarterback, you can sit them. Let's look at the quarterbacks now that are really good. Mahomes sat. Jalen Hurts sat. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. Love sat behind Aaron Rodgers. The game is such a fast pace at that next level from what you're used to in college. Yeah, you can say, I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that Cam Ward is the best quarterback coming out. Now, everybody talks about Shedeur Sanders and this and that, and, great completion percentage up in the mid-70s, which is unheard of. But I'll tell you what, right. Cam Ward gives you the whole package. I think Sanders he's very athletic, and I think the reason why you're looking at him is because he was kind of like an offensive line that was a sieve out of Colorado. And he was basically doing a lot of running for his life, which meant he had to throw it early and on time. I have no problem with that. But after that, I think there's a pretty good drop-off. Jackson Dart is there, and the kid from Louisville is there. But Jackson Dart may be lower first round, but everybody else is second round or back further.
All right, I'm sorry, Leo. Something fell here on my studio, and I had to pick it up. So, Sorry about that. No problem. Those things happen. But anyway, that's why I went off the air. So, all right, Smokin' Jimmy, have anything you want to add to this?
No, I agree with Leo 100%. It's a luxury that if you can sit a quarterback, but the philosophy now, Leo, in the National Football League, and I'm not telling you anything that you don't know, is that you play a rookie quarterback because you don't have to pay him, and that way you can build your roster in other areas. But like you and Ralph said, that actually hurts the quarterback maybe in the long run.
Yeah, in the long run it does, but in the short run, it's good for the team because they got that 5-year rookie contract. And I mean, 4 years with the option of 5. So I mean, and now it all favors the team as far as that.
Yeah, the biggest problem you have in Chicago is, did that 1 year ruin Caleb Williams? Did it put him so far behind the 8 ball? Because we saw that, and again, I'm dropping names here now. When Heath Schuler went to the old Washington Redskins, man, oh man. And Steve Spurrier was still under the impression that he could send 5 guys out. Well, guess what? When he sent 5 guys out in pass routes, defense was sending 6. They had a free runner. And Heath Schuler never recovered from that. Never. So I'm just wondering what it's going to be like. Now, again, remember, Peyton Manning was 1-15 his first year. 1 win. Became a pretty good quarterback. So you got to surround the kid with some weapons. You got to get an offense. My brother Tom says, he said that offensive line, still they haven't addressed it. And if they don't address it, they're still going to be in the same boat next year. You're going to have a quarterback running for his life. You're going to have a quarterback that is going to get blitzed unmercifully, and he's not going to be able to pick it up.
No, not at all. I agree with you on that one. So Leo, I think Jackson Dart could be the Steelers' pick in the first round. They laid an egg real bad this year. They should have got some of these other guys that were out there instead of sitting around waiting for this Aaron Rodgers saga to continue. And it's just gotten completely out of control here. I'm not a big Aaron Rodgers fan to begin with as of right now after what happened at the Jets and, running a coach out and all kinds of other stuff that he pulled, But my question is, do you think Aaron Rodgers would want to play for the Steelers, yes or no?
Oh, I think he would. And I think right now Aaron Rodgers has all the leverage.
Right.
He's playing out his options. See if there's anybody else in the game. But I don't think he'd be a bad move for the Steelers. It's a stopgap. It's maybe a year or two, and that gives them time to draft a quarterback this year, next year, and develop him. But I think Aaron Rodgers still has some gas in the tank. I think there's still a little bit of tread on the tire. And, the Steelers got to get back to Steeler football. You know what Steeler football is?
Thank you. You're right.
Pound the rock, and play solid defense. That's everybody's talking about, Steelers are winning games 15-10. That's how you want to win if you're Pittsburgh. You don't want to turn the ball over. That's the big thing. And you want to be able to run it to run the clock out.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Mike Tomlin's had a bad habit for the 18 years he's been coach is clock management. It's gotten a little bit better here and there, but it's still not where it needs to be. And he needs to get somebody up in the booth to call for the red flag, look down on things. He doesn't have that. He looks up on the scoreboard all the time. The Steelers are cheap. They don't want to pay a lot of money for coach. They don't want to pay for coaches to begin with. And then Mike Tomlin brings in these yes men who have no idea what they're doing and know how to coach at all. You know what I mean? So, except for Pat Meyer and Arthur Smith, maybe. It all depends. My question to you is, do you think Arthur Smith is a whim and a prayer? And what I mean by that was he was good when he was the offensive coordinator in Tennessee. And then he went to Atlanta and he stunk up the joint. And then now he's back. He's here with the Steelers. And some people were saying, his offense is boring. What do you think?
Well, I can live with boring if they're winning.
If you're winning, yeah.
Yeah, if you're
exactly.
winning. Be as boring as you want. But I tell you what, Ralph, you've got to look at your weapons and figure out how to maximize them. The Steelers have done that on defense for years. The funny thing is on offense, they haven't. They haven't been able to find guys that have meshed into a unit. Now, bringing in the receiver from Seattle, that's going to be interesting. Because now George Pickett, he may not be the biggest prima donna in the room, but I'll tell you what, he better show up, because I can tell you right now, this guy coming in from Seattle, he's a winner. And if you don't put off an effort, and, the question with Pickett was, is he going to give me 100% every week? Is he going to run pass routes? Is he going to take plays off? He starts doing that, he's going to hear it from Metcalf quickly in that room.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. He's going to have to step his game up, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this is the final year of his contract. Smokin' Jim, am I right on that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're right.
All right. Okay.
He's also Aaron Rodgers is not going to put up with any below.
No.
So
between
Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers.
That's the thing. You drop the pass, maybe two. Aaron Rodgers ain't throwing you the ball, and that's just the way it is.
You know what? Aaron Rodgers will make you pay if you want to be like that. I mean, he'll stick it to you. You know what I mean? And
or he'll set you up. All of a sudden that safety's sitting there, and he may throw that a little bit farther ahead. Oops. Oops.
Yeah, he can make or break you, as they say. You know what I mean? So. Smokin' Jim, anything you want to add? Are you there, Smokin' Jim?
No, sir.
All right, great. Okay, Leo, thank you for being part of the program. We're waiting for Troy. He was supposed to be on at 4 o'clock. I sent him the invite. He said he got it, and I haven't heard from him since. So I don't know what's going on with Troy, but I hope he
I'll send him a text and ask him.
gets here sooner or later tonight.
I'll send him a text.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that. So,
all right, bud. Take care,
thanks,
guys.
Leo.
Pleasure being
All right,
on.
Smokin' Jim, say goodbye to Leo.
Good job, Leo, as usual, buddy.
Take care,
All
guys.
right. All right, Leo Haggerty from Amped Up Sports. He was here to talk with us about the Atlanta Falcons. Smokin' Jim, your thoughts on what he had to say about the Falcons?
He nailed it. I watched one of the Falcon games recently on NFL Network, and I think Kirk Cousins threw like five touchdown passes. I mean, he was on fire that game. They won, I think, either in overtime or late in the fourth quarter. So it was a surprise how quickly he dropped on, because they committed $187 million to his contract, and it was only his first year. But hey, Atlanta, they got some pieces. They got a good running back, and like you always talk about, Ralph, it's all about what you do in the draft. You can't blow it in the draft.
That's right. That's exactly right. Because nowadays with the salary cap, and you got 4-year contract, a 4-year contract with an option now on these players. You know what? It's not a bad thing if you can get the draft right, and especially when you got a new coach like Kellen Moore. I mean, I don't know how many times I got to see this. He needs this draft to be successful in New Orleans this year. He's going to bust, because they're $80 million over the cap. And I mean, it's ridiculous about what's going on down there. So, I mean, you and
I can walk in those draft rooms and outdo what these guys are doing. That's studying the team all year long. I mean, you've been on our radio show. You've been going over the last 3 or 4 years of the Steelers draft.
Yes.
And it's been horrible.
Yes, it
and
has.
I'm the only one. And I'm the only one on draft day that graded it like a D-. Everybody, it's an A. It's an A.
Oh, it's an A. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, you know what, though? I called out Broderick Jones's name when I was at Draft Nation's draft party that year. I said, because Joe Kugler said, well, who do you think it's going to be? And I yelled real loud, Broderick Jones. And I was right.
Wow.
Okay. But now we're looking at a bust here, because you told me, and I agree with you, because you know it. You know what you're talking about. And the bottom line is that this guy's only played 1 full year of football in college. How do you draft the guy in the first round who only played 1 full year in football? Okay. I'd rather have a guy that played 4 years of football. I don't care if it's with a different team. At least he played 4 years of football. He's got some experience in him, game experience. Broderick Jones drafted him in the first round, and that's what happens. That's sad. I mean, and we're going to go over last year's draft for the Steelers next, leading up to this draft. So, I mean, but the Steelers got to do something about this defensive line. They got to do something about the quarterback situation that they made themselves, because they didn't come up with a plan when Ben Roethlisberger left, and it's just been a mess ever since. And it's horrible out there. It's horrible about the way they've done some things around here. And I got to tell you, Smokin' Jim, we got a nice big audience today for today's show. I want to thank everybody for watching on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Twitter X platforms. Being that it's just like this, we may move it to Thursdays. You never know. So, there you go. We got a bunch of people watching the show today, and I want to thank you for that as well. Comment section's open if you choose to comment. All right, today's Smokin' Jim, while we're waiting for Troy to come on at 5:30, we have Cornelious Brad Hanna, and he has a podcast called HANNA Time, and he covers Arizona State. He covers all Arizona sports, including the Diamondbacks and the Cardinals. So he talks some national topics too, but he's the guy that can tell us exactly what Arizona's going to be doing this year, the Cardinals. So, all right, let's get into some of our sponsors here. We forgot to get into. We got right into Leo real quick. We're in the Mata Heating and Air Conditioning Studios, 724-2010-500 Mata Heating and Air Conditioning. Call them today for all your air conditioning needs. And also, don't forget, you're wrapping up your furnace for the wintertime. Get Marta to come in and take a look at it, get it ready for next year, and put it aside and get the air conditioner running and everything else. So 724-2010-500. You ought to call Marta. They also do UV lighting, which is very important for security of your home, and also for security for yourself as well. Check it out. They have UV lighting, snow melt. There's a little bit of snow still creeping around, but next winter maybe you might want to call them for that. Marta Heating and Air Conditioning. All right. And also we have a new sponsor, and I want to get his picture up here real quick for you. All right, if I can find it. There we go. All right. Mike Dotson Realty. Mike Dotson is a realtor down in Ocean City, Maryland. Call him today, 410-596-1681. Give him a call. Mike is a really good, I'm talking about he's a great realtor. He'll help you find a home that you need. He has a lot of listings. Let me tell you something. The real estate right now in Ocean City, Maryland, Berlin, Maryland, and the surrounding area is very hot right now. People are moving out. People are selling homes. And I got to tell you, the home prices down there will surprise you. So give Mike a call, and he'll send you a bunch of listings, even the condos down there. He has condos for you, homes. He has all kinds. He'll send you a big listing. And he's a great guy, great to deal with, great customer service, been in it for over 20 years. What a guy, Mike Dotson. Give him a call today if you're planning on moving to Ocean City, or even if you want to look around in Ocean City for property and you might want a summer home, or you want any kind of property. Give him a call. He'll send you some listings, and you'll be surprised at the prices of the homes down in Ocean City, Maryland, Berlin, Maryland. All right, Smokin' Jim, anything you want to talk about before we get in? We're going to dissect tight ends right now. And then maybe later, if we have some time, we'll get into the offensive linemen too, because there's not that many tight ends in the draft anyway.
All right, go ahead. I'm ready.
All right, he's ready for the tight ends. All right, let's get started here. First one, Colston Loveland is rated number one. Or I'm sorry, number one is Tyler Warren, Penn State. Your thoughts, Tyler Warren?
I tell you what, big number 44, got the size. He's a pretty good blocker. I believe he'll be a top 10 pick in the draft, and I think that those guys should get part of their bonus to Brock Bowers of the Los Angeles Raiders, because he did so well last year that everybody wants to get a tight end this year. So, that's a good pick for somebody.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So hang on a second here, Smokin' Jim. My mom's looking for me, but I got to let her know I'm doing a show right now. Hang on. Can't keep Mom waiting, Hang on. Okay, there we go. I just text her, let her know what's going on. So there we are. So, all right. But anyway, Smokin' Jim. All right, let's get started with our next one here. Let me see here. Who do we have? Okay, Colston Loveland. Wow, what a name that guy has. Michigan, your thoughts? Michigan always has good tight ends. Jeremy Tooman, remember him? And a few other guys, so. Your thoughts on him, and then Troy Odegaard's on right now, and we'll get ready to get him on.
Oh, I think he's the best tight end in the draft. He's going to be a steal to somebody. He may fall all the way to the Los Angeles Chargers, and Harbaugh could get his tight end back. But the guy's unbelievable. He can run. He's athletic. He wants the ball. He got great hands. So that's going to be a steal for anybody that gets that pitch.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's get started here. Troy Odegaard. Did I pronounce that right, Troy? I'm sorry.
You did great. That's perfect.
All right, there you go. All right, Troy is brought to you in part by hang on a minute here. Let me get something here to sponsor you here. I got to scroll down here a little bit. All right, there we are here. Robin Campbell Insurance. Call Robin today, 412-366-3399. Look, he has Farmers Insurance, Bristol West. Robin, I've been dealing with Robin Campbell for well over 15 years, and let me tell you something. Robin Campbell has some great insurance for you. He's a great customer service man, and let me tell you, Robin is a guy to call. That number, 412-366-3399. Tell him Ralph Williams sent you. He'll even come to your house. Robin Campbell Insurance. All right. Okay, Troy, thanks for being part of the program. Say hello to my co-host by phone, Smokin' Jim Frazier. Smokin' Jim, say hello to Troy.
Hey, Jim, how are you, buddy? How are you, buddy?
All right.
I'm doing good.
All right. Troy covers the Indianapolis Colts for the Amped Up Sports. Leo was just on, Leo Haggerty, to talk about the Atlanta Falcons. Troy, your thoughts, Indianapolis, what's going on with the draft and free agency with them this year?
Number one, 7 picks, 1 in each round. They can fill some starter holes. They can fill some backup roles. Hopefully they can fill some needs. Free agency, 3 cornerbacks, 1 linebacker. So they clearly have identified the defensive side of the ball last year was not very good for them. The other thing that's a glaring weakness, obviously, is their quarterback. They brought in Daniel Jones off the Vikings roster. They picked up Sam Ellinger, and they got Joe Flacco. So they clearly are done with Mr. Richardson. A couple different things I've noticed is, you kind of pick through these mock drafts and things. There's two highways of thought. One highway of thought is they're going to take an offensive lineman. The other highway of thought is they're going to try to get some more weapons. And the tight end from Penn State has his name has popped up pretty regular. So those are the things I'm seeing right now. Did they address needs in free agency? I think they did. They did lose the Freeze, the young man Freeze that was on their offensive line to the Vikings during free agency. So they do have probably 2 holes that they need to fill on that offensive line to keep their quarterback safe.
Oh yeah, absolutely. What about the defense? Is the defense pretty secure, or is Shane Steichen looking in that direction too?
Well, I think they're looking in that direction. Obviously, they were extremely concerned about their secondary because they went out and got 3 cornerbacks in free agency. They also picked up a linebacker, so they're focused on the back end of their defense. Would I be shocked to see them pick up an edge rusher or somebody that can help with the run game on the front side of that defense? No, I wouldn't be shocked. But I do think that pick would probably come later, 3, 4, 5. I think in 1 and 2, we're going to see offensive playmakers to help the quarterback, tight end, wide receiver. They did sign a couple running backs in free agency, and then they have 2 holes to fill to protect their quarterback.
Yeah,
so he's not
they do, absolutely. Yeah, you can't have you have to protect your quarterback.
Yeah.
And what Reynolds said in the longest yard, please protect. Somebody's got to protect the quarterback. So there you go. Smokin', Jim, you have any questions for Troy?
No, sir.
All right, Troy. Richardson's looking like he's going to be the starter this year, and you got all these quarterbacks in camp here. You got Joe Flacco backing him up like you did last year, and some other things. What's going on there with the quarterback room?
Well, in my opinion, I think they're trying to find one. I don't think they have one. And both of you know that if you don't have one, you're always looking for one. And if you don't have one, you're not a very good football team. I think some of the things that happened with Mr. Richardson this year were scary for the Colts. They would be scary for me if I was his teammate, getting tired, taking plays off, resting. So I think that quarterback room is experienced behind Richardson with Daniel Jones, obviously with Joe Flacco, and with Sam Ellinger. You got a really athletic kid that played in the Big 12 at Texas. So I think, I know they're saying the right things about who's going to start.
Right.
But I think if you get to OTAs and we're going to start, I think they're going to work on all 3 or 4 of those guys and find out who they really have. because they got to have a
Right.
plan A and a plan B going into the season, I believe.
Well, you know what, though, Troy, and I think Smokin' Jim will agree with me on this. This will be the, what I say, how I say this, another guy that Smokin' Jim has said that Richardson really not that great of a quarterback from the beginning. If he has a poor work ethic, Daniel Jones being there, he could get his, second coming. And I've always said this, Troy, when you go to another team, you might be able to do better than you did to the team you were with before, which was the Giants. So Daniel Jones has the luxury of being around two offensive minds now. He was around Brian DeBoe, and now he's around Shane Steichen. So if he can't resurrect his career with Shane Steichen, I think it's time for Daniel Jones to go to UFL or get out of the league or do something.
I agree. And I think this situation with that offensive coordinator, I think that will help Daniel. I think that will take some pressure off him. I also think that what they found out is that you got to have a quarterback. Yes, your quarterback needs to be athletic, but you got to have a quarterback to make quarterback plays and quarterback reads. And I just don't think they had that with Anthony. And I mean, that young man is athletic and he is fast and he is built like a Greek god. But I think once he gets back in that pocket, I don't know if he's making the right reads or if what he's seeing. And I think with Daniel Jones, Sam Ehlinger, and Joe Flacco, the offensive coordinator is going to know what that guy's seeing because they're going to see the same thing.
Well, it's either he's going to let the veterans mentor him or he's just going to flop, like you're saying, because if he has that kind of a bad attitude or that kind of a poor work ethic, he's not going to be in this league very long. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, maybe he doesn't like what's going on there with Shane Steichen and he has to play out his contract. I don't know. I mean, so we'll see. But I mean, you're in the NFL, you're replaceable easy. It's not that hard. And, and now Joe Flacco didn't do too bad last year. And also you got Daniel Jones looking to resurrect his career. Yep. He's with another team. He's with another good offensive coach and Shane Steichen. And I think
here's the other thing with Daniel Jones.
I think it's going to work out for,
Daniel Jones was in a quarterback room last year with KOC in the Vikings. And KOC, if KOC can do what he did for Sam Darnold, I can't imagine what Daniel learned while he was in that quarterback room all those weeks and practicing. It's like Daniel Jones has been, maybe this is a breath that he needed. And now he can take what he learned with KOC and incorporate it to the Indianapolis Colts. And I totally agree with you. He's got a new lease on life.
Yeah, well, he got away from that dumpster fire up in New York with the Giants. And, that's been a dumpster fire. And then, like my co-host on Sports Corner Radio show, Luther Dupree, always says a dumpster fire. So, I mean, it's a dumpster fire. But let me say this, Brian DeBoe is a good offensive coach. Look what he did up in Buffalo. But then, all of a sudden, he's just fallen as a head coach. And I've said this 1,000 times. You could be a good head coach and you could be a good coordinator, but sometimes you can't be both. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't work out sometimes. We have
a litany of paper on guys that are just like that. Yep.
Oh yeah. Troy, thanks for being part of the program, talking about Indianapolis Colts with us, and we got some great knowledge as to what's going to happen this year. Where do you think they go in the draft, first round, other than maybe quarterback or something else? You think receiver? What do you think? The tight end, Tyler Warren, like you were saying?
I think they are going to get playmakers. So if Tyler Warren's available at 14, I think he's the guy. If he's gone, then I'm thinking I wouldn't be surprised if Tyler Booker, the left guard from Alabama, ends up there in that spot. That would not shock me. Those are my two I'm going with in that first pick.
Okay. All right, Troy. Thank you for being part of the show, Troy. And talking with us. Troy, check out his stuff. He covers the Indianapolis Colts for Amped Up Sports. And Troy, we'll have you back on again at the beginning of the season, talk about the Colts after training camp and everything else. We're going to do another one of these 32-team marathon kind of things that we do. Get everybody ready for the season.
I always appreciate your hospitality and allowing me to be a part of it. This is always fun. I appreciate both of you guys.
Thanks, Troy. Appreciate it. Smokin' Jimmy, have anything you want to say to Troy before he leaves?
Hey, great job as usual, Troy. Appreciate you, buddy.
All right.
Thank you, guys. You guys have a great Thursday night.
You too, Troy. Thank you. All right. That was Troy ODEGARD from Amped Up Sports. And now we have somebody who's here early tonight, but that's great. That's fine. Cornelious, Brad Hanna.
How are you?
Cornelious, thanks for being being on the show finally.
Oh.
Finally able to get you on, man. Thank you.
You've been trying, and I've been trying, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is Cornelious Brad Hanna. He has a show called Hanna Time. He does on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube and Facebook, I believe.
Yeah.
So anyway,
we're all over the
tell
place.
us about your podcast, Cornelious.
Yeah, I appreciate that, and thanks for the plug. We want to talk Cardinals and looking at the division and how it's playing out. It seems like it's up for grabs. The Rams, I thought were going to be a hotter team, but a lot of changes. The NFL has guys that are leaving everywhere, taking different contracts, 1-year deals, and it just you can't get consistency with the long-term team anymore. It seems like it's very hard. And but the Cardinals regrouped 2 years ago, and it's been an ugly start, but a little happiness last season, seeing some, but they're low on team depth. When guys go down to injury, where are you going next? Like, who's coming in? And what I kept seeing last year with them was guys that really like a third level player that shouldn't even be on the field probably, or call ups, and they fell apart towards the end because the NFL is full of injuries. So looking at the draft and the free agencies, they've done very well with free agents. We have to see how they play, but the names are good. And there are a team on the up from what we can see. But it's important for depth and injuries in the NFL. And I don't know where it's going to go next. I'm looking forward to your questions, but this off season, it goes well into the summer when there's free agents laying around too, by the way.
Oh, you know it. Smokin' Jim Frazier, my co-host by phone. Say hello to Cornelious Brad Hanna from Hanna Time Podcast.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Cornelius.
I appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
All right, I have a question for you. What's the draft looking like this year for Arizona? What are they looking at taking? What are they going to do? What's Jonathan Gannon in his second year looking like?
He's a defensive guy, right? So, and they got thinned out. I wouldn't be surprised if they can find the best 16th pick in the first round is what it looks like for now, to go get the best defensive player. That's a game stopper kind of guy. They need that. Everybody needs that. And that's, he got some players from the Philly team. Some Eagles left Philly and joined on, and that's, beneficial. That's what I'm hoping for. It's who knows how it flies in the first 10 picks and how people are trading out, how it switches things around. But I'm looking at defense for them. And I'm been a defensive guy since I've even loved the Steel Curtain days.
There you go. There's some good. Those were some good defenses, and Blitzburg too. Blitzburg was some good defenses. So yeah.
It's you got to make the defensive plays, and the Cardinals have been struggling there. But this is a defensive mind head coach and mindset, and it's a third year of his contract, and being as the head coach, and he needs to stock up on defensive line. They did very well. They got some linebackers from the free agency. I think the secondary needs more depth. They're kind of getting old. Their safeties. There's some really good safeties, but the cornerbacks, the CBs, and they need to find a hot one in the draft. And I don't know if that's in the first round or the second round. And here's my big one for you guys too, is the quarterback situation. I don't know if I don't think he's the future. I don't know what the pulling the plug is.
Yeah.
But if there's a hot quarterback in that first round that kind of drops, maybe, if they want to roll that.
Yeah.
But what does that say to Kyler Murray? Does he get a little bit, upset about something like that in the first round? But you got to think about the future, and Kyler needs to step up to a higher level. That's basically what it comes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. He does need to step up to a higher level. What's James Conner looking like this year? I know last year he was a leading rusher for you guys, I believe, and he did a lot of good things. What's going on with him this year?
He's still the guy. He's been plagued by injuries his whole career, right? And probably one of the reasons why the Steelers, had enough, just the injuries. But he makes that offense go. But the Cardinals are building around a little running game too, with some players that are coming in. He's the guy. He's the leader. Even though he's not the quarterback, he's the leader of this team. Like he's,
right.
It's funny here in Arizona. They still hate the Steelers because they lost to the Super Bowl with them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they used to call Steelers West down there.
But I'm saying
Wisenhunt and Arians were down there, so.
Well, it's a former Steeler that really is the captain of this team, and he brings that Steeler hit, mentality, from his college days too, and they love him here, and that's what they need.
I bet. Yeah,
you just got to stay healthy, and you know his story. I mean,
right? I know his story. Yeah, absolutely. I followed him through Pitt. I followed him through the Steelers, and now he's with you guys down there in Arizona, and I just hope that he can shake off the injury bugaboo and really do even better than what he did last year. I mean, he did what he had to do and everything else last year, and I'm glad he's the leader of the team because he seems like he can be a leader. I call him a lunch pail kind of guy. Brings the lunch pail, comes to work, does what he has to do, things like that. It's just sad that he has the injury case, but he had some cancer, and I understand the situation with that as well. Smokin' Jim, you have any questions for Cornelius?
No,
I'm all good.
sir.
All right. Cornelius, tell us a little bit about your I
can talk forever about this. You know that.
I know. Tell us a little bit about your podcast, Hand of Time. I know you don't have the Arizona Coyotes to pick on anymore.
It's a tough one. I miss hockey. I do.
So, they're in Utah now, but I know you have Diamondbacks and everything else.
I'll give you a tip on that one. Arizona State, the university out here in Tempe, Arizona, it has a really hockey program, and the fans kind of gravitated to that level of, and they packed a house. They have a hockey arena in the desert of all places. It's one of the best, one of the better hockey schools to go to if you're going to be in college, and especially out west. I mean, you don't really find it out west. But since you brought up the hockey point, the fans kind of gravitated to that, the ones who love their hockey. But the show itself, I'm going to be doing a big draft like you're doing, a big draft show, and a post-draft show too, with some local special people around Arizona itself and some former Cardinal players and things like that too. We're going to focus on the Cardinals strictly. It's year 3, and the timeline on contracts with coaches and quarterbacks. If you can't flip the switch by year 3, then you're on the edge. I mean, so you get a 4-year contract. It's this is it. They got to see something here. So, but I'm a baseball guy too, man. And I got to ask you.
Yeah. How's the Diamondbacks looking?
I think you love your Pirates, right? I mean, you're a Pirate guy.
No, I don't love the Pirates right now. I think the owner needs to go somewhere. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, Cornelius, he's managed to really piss the fan base off with the Roberto Clemente situation. And then on top of that, he goes and takes some bricks that people paid for to put on when PNC Park opened up. And then on top of that, he does it to a friend of mine who bought a brick.
Oof.
Okay, that's even the worst of it all. All right, and when you pick on my friends, you're on my radar now. So now I'm really going to eat Bob Nutting alive here because I don't, appreciate it. And if I'm a season ticket holder for the Pirates, I would turn my seats in. I'd ask for a refund because this is disgusting what this owner's doing. And he doesn't care about Pittsburgh. He doesn't care about his team. He doesn't care about nothing. All he cares about is making money. And as long as he's doing that, he doesn't care.
I've always liked I'm a big Yankee fan, but I've always loved the Pirates. I've always been there. I thought the fan base in Pittsburgh is so amazing, and it's so heartbreaking to see that they're going through so much ugliness for so many years. This was an amazing franchise.
Yes, it is.
You know, and the history on it is just, it's awesome. Even, you know, I mean, in every World Series that I've watched them in, especially coming from the 70s, they're always been an underdog, and then their underdog story, and then you just they're that team that wins when nobody, just like the Steelers, they're an underdog organization and they found a way to win. The whole city, even from the Penguins itself. So that city itself, Pittsburgh, is a winning city. They're a championship city, and it's painful that they're a baseball team. Their beloved Pirates can't even get this far. Like, can't even climb. No. Can you compete for first place at least? Can you? You know, you have so much beautiful talent too over the years. Yeah, come on. You know. So anyway, we got into baseball. Is that fun?
Yes, it is. All right, Cyberuski, what's going on? Cyberuski, we're talking a little bit about Arizona stuff here. We have Cornelious Brad Hanna from the Hannah Time podcast here joining us today. And also we're talking about the NFL draft. We had Leo Haggerty on earlier from Amped Up Sports, and also Troy Odegaard from Amped Up Sports. Both of them came on. Leo talked about Atlanta, and we had Troy come on. He just was on talking about the Indianapolis Colts. So, you know, and their quarterback situation with Richardson there, they're starting to stockpile quarterbacks now. They got Daniel Jones, they got Joe Flacco, and they're starting to stockpile. They may even go in the draft and get one because they're not happy with Richardson. They don't like his attitude, they don't like his work ethic. There's just a few things that have just kind of, you know, he spoiled the broth in the soup, Cornelius.
Yeah. You know, you threw some things at me there that reminded me of the Cardinals. You know, they have a just young tight end. They have some awesome wide receivers that they have guys they can throw the ball to. And, you know, and Kyle Murray is just can have some hot games, and then he can have some blow-up, embarrassing games. They have the talent. They have the weapons. They have a great running game. And we talked about who's in the backfield. So they have all the weapons there. It's really coming down to Kyler Murray when it comes to the Cardinals. And don't be surprised if some of their players with the Cardinals itself have some big numbers. As long as Kyler Murray can get the ball down. I'm going to give you a Kyler Murray story, by the way. This is a true story. I'm in the back of the end zone during the Cardinal game, right? And I'm with some Fox TV camera guys. And it's halftime, so I creep over to one and go, "Hey, man, can you find Kyler Murray when he goes back to pass? Like, what like, because every time I see it from the end zone, I lose him." He goes, "I lose him too." So you're telling me is when that ball is snapped, he's like 5'9", guys. They're lying about his height, maybe 5'8". So when you're a 6'8", you know, of a lineman, you got a wall. He can't.
Yeah.
He can't see.
Yeah, he's like a Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie was a short little quarterback who just couldn't see over, you know, his own offensive lineman and all that. We had Russell Wilson here last year. He's not a tall guy either, you know. So I mean, you know, but yeah, it's not like Big Ben, who the Steelers never bothered to really, you know, do anything after Big Ben. They didn't have a plan. They just basically went out and drafted Kenny Pickett, and now Kenny Pickett's with his third team now. Okay, he's with the Cleveland Browns. We got to look at him twice this year, and then this Saturday we got to look at him at the Pitt Spring game because you know that he went to school at Pitt. He's going to be one of the coaches for one of the blue gold game. So you know.
Oh, I like who they brought back though in Pittsburgh.
We're going to be seeing a lot of. What's that?
I like who they brought back.
I'm sorry. Mason Rudolph. Yeah.
I'm very happy. I thought Mason never really got the chance. I think everything about him, there's something very special about him, even what he did in college and what he was able to do with the Steelers with I thought he was the guy. I don't know why they didn't even try to keep him. Who knows what heck happened 2 years ago, but now he's back, and at this point, he's the starting quarterback. And I think if you're a Steeler fan, you should be comfortable. You should be comfortable and go get a young quarterback that could be. There's a couple of big names I keep hearing that they're into, or at least everybody talks about these young quarterbacks that are in the draft. But I think you should be pretty happy bringing him back. And he's mature. He knows the game. He knows the team. Players like them, and to me, he doesn't have a losing record, does he? I mean,
not that I'm aware of. The only game that I believe, other than that playoff game 2 years ago, I think he had a tie against the Detroit Lions. That's I think the only. Smokin' Jim, correct us if we're wrong. Mason Rudolph. I think he had one or two more after that. Is that right?
What over his career, over his course of his career?
Yes.
Yeah, he's he's a little over 500. Last year's 99 with the Tennessee Titans, and don't forget he got benched for Duck Hodges, who could have been a great quarterback, but the Steelers didn't see the value in him.
Yeah.
But like Cornelius said, he matured his last season here in Pittsburgh, and really should have been a starting quarterback last year. They should have gave him the opportunity because he can throw that football, very mature. And like you always say, Ralph, sometimes it takes a quarterback 3 or 4 years to develop in the National Football League, and he's done that.
Yes, exactly. Kevin Colbert, I'm going to use one of his favorite sayings. The reason why he took Mason Rudolph was because he had the game against Pitt where Oklahoma State blew Pitt out 50-0 or whatever the heck the score was in that game. Just like he did with Artie Burns, just like he did with some of these other guys. Oh, I like the way he played against Pitt.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm if you're a Steeler fan, I think even every year.
Yeah, that's what Kevin Colbert said.
Every year they count them out. The Steelers every.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mike Tomlin will have another 9-8 record, and he's got about 2 years left on this contract or whatever. He'll be in his 20th season, so we'll see what happens. I call mediocre, Mike, because technically we haven't really been beyond the first round of the playoffs. We get blown out every playoff game we're in, and it seems like it's the same old story, or 9-8, or a little bit above 500 or something, and that's satisfying to the Rooney family, or at least to Art Rooney II. I don't know about the rest of the Rooney family, but to him, that's satisfying enough. And as long as the owner's satisfied, I guess who cares? You know what I mean? So, and that's the way it is. Everybody says how great Mike Tomlin is. I like to see him with some other team, maybe. See what he does there, because I'm going to tell you what, if he was to go to Philly, if he was to go to Dallas, if he was to go to some of them other owners who have these itchy fingers to get rid of coaches right away, and he has a 9-8 season, guess what? Gone, baby, gone. You know what I mean? And that's a simple fact.
You talk like you're from Pittsburgh, man. I'm telling you, I hear it all the time from the fans in that area of Pitt and friends that I have. They love their teams, but they will not hold back how they feel. And
no, I don't. And neither does Smokin' Jim. I mean, the two of us, that's why we work so well together, because we tell it like it is. We tell it like we see it. We got guys here on the media here, and I don't mean to talk about them, but it's the truth. They can't carry a gym bag for me. That's how bad they are. Okay, a lot of them don't know what they're talking about. Number two, they sit there and they kiss Art Rooney's butt. Going on and on about how great Mike Tomlin is. Okay, if he's so great, why aren't we winning Super Bowls? If he's so great, why do we bow out in the draft in playoffs in the first round? If he's so great, why don't we have good drafts? If he's so great, how come we didn't do something about it after Ben retired?
Yeah, I'll leave it like this before.
I think I've proved the point that he's not.
I'll leave it like this before I go, guys. Tomlin took over a Steelers team that was already winning Super Bowls. It kind of reminded me of the head coach that took over the Cowboys when the Cowboys beat the Steelers in Super Bowl 30. What's his name? And he won a Super Bowl. Right. And it's like, no, you took over a team that was already winning.
Barry Switzer. Switzer took
Barry-
over after Jimmy Johnson got fired.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for helping me out.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm seeing.
You're welcome. Right. Oh, exactly. You know, he won one Super Bowl with Cowers players, went to another Super Bowl, and they couldn't even score a touchdown on a fifth and sixth, or how you put it, a fifth and sixth place cornerback who was fifth or sixth on the Green Bay Packers depth chart. They couldn't even get a pass to a receiver because of that. So you see what I'm saying? You know,
I was at that game.
just, yeah, you know, and he won with Cowers players. And what coach? And let me explain this to everyone here. What coach walks in and has a franchise quarterback right at their disposal? Who does that? Jimmy Johnson did. He had Dan Marino. Okay, I'll give Jimmy Johnson that credit. He had Dan Marino when he walked in at Miami.
Yeah, but
okay,
it doesn't happen. Great point.
No,
very good point. I'm going to remember that too.
Yeah, it don't happen very, very, you know. And then he's the luxury of working for the Steelers, who don't fire coaches to begin with. Okay, Bill Cowher was here, what, 15 years?
Yep.
14 years. Was here for over 20 years, almost 20 or more. So, I mean, you know, it's not, they don't fire coaches. They don't believe in doing that. And you know, it's a good thing. It's good for continuity, but it's not good when you haven't won anything since 2016. You haven't won a playoff game. I mean, you know, or anything like that since 2016 was the last.
If he wins one playoff game, then they're going to keep him for another 10 years.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I blame some of this on a lot of this and most of this now on Mike Tomlin. I mean, and the reason why is because the Rooneys made the stupidest mistake of their lives when Dan Snyder was pursuing him for the Washington Commanders job or whatever, when they were pursuing him. And he told the Steelers he wanted more power. The Rooneys didn't want to give it to him, but they gave it to him to satisfy him. So now he calls all the shots on everything, and look at the failures. A lot of them because of him. So, you know.
Hey.
But Cornelius, thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
For being on the show today. I appreciate it. All right. Have yourself a great one, Cornelius. Thank you for being here. Smokin' Jim, you got anything you want to add or say anything to
Thank you, guys.
Hey, great job. You brought the smoke today, brother.
Thank you. All right. Have yourself a great one, Cornelius. Thank you.
You got it.
That was Cornelius Brad Hanna of HANNA Time. He was here to talk about the Arizona Cardinals. And I got to say, Smokin' Jim, we've had three great guys on in the course of an hour that have really presented us with some stuff in regards to the draft for their teams.
Yeah, I agree, man. Nobody does it like the booking machine. You bring the best of the best on, brother.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, all right, whoever, I'm trying to see who this is here. Oh, yeah, Al Bundy from Detroit. Yeah, okay. That just decided to comment and use a derogatory comment. I really don't care that you pass gas. I really don't care. So there you go. All right. And I don't think anybody else in this that's watching this show today cares either. So there you go. All right. Don't forget, Ralph's Opinion Show will be back on May the 14th. May the 14th, 7:00 p.m. Ralph's Opinion will be back on the air. And we're going to have a whole new lineup of things going on. National Talk, Ralph's Opinion. It'll be every Wednesday starting May the 14th. So we have that going on. And also our Wrestle Talk show. Those of you who have been wondering what's going on with that, we're bringing that back after WrestleMania. Smokin' Jim and I are going to do a post-WrestleMania show. I'll give you the date on that. And it'll probably be the Monday after WrestleMania because Tuesday we have Sports Corner going on with the 2-hour special with the draft. So we're probably going to do this on Monday right after WrestleMania. Smokin' Jim and I will dissect WrestleMania. Who won, who lost, who did what, who we think could have done better, and all that. We're going to dissect that on Wrestle Talk. I'll give you the date. Just keep track on my social media platforms. And please, I remind you, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, don't forget to follow me on my Twitter X platform, Facebook, LinkedIn as well. And don't forget to also follow Smokin' Jim Frazier as well. He's on Instagram. He's on Facebook as well. And don't forget to also tune into the Bethel Park TV or on YouTube or Facebook to see Smokin' Jim. He's on a TV show called Pittsburgh Sports Line, hosted by Al Levine, the Talking Machine, along with Smokin' Jim Frazier, Mike Rohde, and sometimes Chip Hayner, who's a big Pirate fan. And I'm just going to wonder what he's doing with his season tickets this year, Smokin' Jim, because I know if I'm a season ticket holder, I want my money back, because I'm just so unhappy with this team right now. It's disgusting with the ownership there. But anyway, and also Mr. Nick Callis, also is part of the show as well. Smokin' Jim, what do you want to talk about right now? What do you want to talk about? Like Cody Rhodes would say, what do you want to talk about?
It's up to you, brother.
I thought maybe you'd want to talk about something. So, all right, let's finish our tight end thing here. Let's go over the tight ends for the draft. We already talked about Tyler Warren, and we already talked about. Hold on a second. Let me get this out here. This happened to be a. Let's see where we're at on this. All right. Yep. My lighting in here is not very good, so I can't see what's going on here. I have poor lighting here to see what's kicking, so I got to use my almighty flashlight on my phone. How's that sound? There we go. All right. Let's see where we're at. Oh, by the way, Smokin' Jim, I'm looking in another publication here, and I'm trying to find Mumford, but I haven't seen anything from him in any of these publications. So I guess perhaps he's going to be a sleeper, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
You know?
Wow. Might be a good pick for somebody.
Yeah. I mean, even the Steelers, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that just might be the case. All right, let me get this Wrestle Talk banner off of here. All right, there we are. All right, Smokin' Jim, let's get back to the tight ends here. We were talking about Colston Loveland from Michigan, and age 21, weight 245, height 6'5", perfect size. Michigan, as I've said before, always puts out some great tight ends. So does Iowa. So does a few. Your thoughts on that guy?
Yeah, he's my number one rated tight end. I even got him ahead of the Penn State tight end, who's very good as well. Whoever gets him is a steal. I think that he may even slide all the way to the Los Angeles Chargers to, reunite with Harbaugh. That'll be great for Herbert. The quarterback will give him another target down there in San Diego.
Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, we got best viewers instead of cheap viewers this week. Thank you for tuning in as well. I appreciate your comments as always. So, all right. Okay. Harold Fannin Jr. is number 3 in this publication. Bowling Green. 6'4", 230. What do you think of this guy?
A little bit undersized, more of a H-back than a true pure tight end, which a lot of teams seem to be going that direction. He's not going to give you much value in the blocking game, but he is going to be a pretty good tight end in the National Football League.
All right. Okay, let's get into our next one. Mason Taylor, LSU, 6'5", 255. Down there in LSU, they always seem to put out some good athletes. What do you think of Mason Taylor, number 4?
Well, he's kind of sat behind Randy Moss's son, who was highly overrated for a few years.
Probably got that job because of his dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So he was able to have a breakout year last year. He's going to be a good tight end for whoever gets him.
All right, here's a good-sized tight end right here, and I like the name. Gunnar Helm, Texas, 6'5", 250. Your thoughts on him?
Really good.
All right. Next, number 7, number 6. Aronde Gaston II. Wow. Syracuse, 6'5", 236. We got a shot. We had a chance of looking at him when he played against Pitt. Your thoughts?
Well, most teams use their highlight film of Pitt. You watch the NFL draft, all you see is Pitt, the guy running wild against Pitt. But again, I'm a lot like Joe Walton. Remember Joe Walton that Robert Morris is head football coach. They named the stadium after him. But when he was offensive coordinator in the National Football League, he believed in 3 tight ends.
Yep.
So
yes, he
you
did.
can't cover these tight ends. You
No,
know
you
what I mean?
can't.
I mean,
No,
the league,
because they're
you
so
know, the
busy worrying
coaches,
about the wide receivers and stopping the run.
yeah,
You know, you forget about
you
the
can't.
tight end.
How you going to stop a 6'6", 6'7" guy
Right.
that's 255 pounds? You can't. You can't stop him.
Right.
You gotta do a Joey Porter and just interfere with him, and then that's a big penalty.
Yeah, well, it's a big penalty, but you know what? At least you stop the score or a first down. So, you know, sometimes,
Yeah.
you know, that's the way Joey Porter sees it. All right, next, number 7, Elijah Arroyo, Miami of Florida, 6'4", 245. Your thoughts on this guy, Elijah Arroyo, number 7.
Yeah, I like him.
All right, this one here I like, Luke Lackey. I like Annie, tight end from Iowa. This guy's from Iowa. He's 6'6", 247. He's a little light, but he's lanky and tall, and he probably could catch the ball. And Luke Lackey, what do you think, number 8?
And all them players from Iowa can play. You know that, brother.
Oh, yeah. Number 9, Terrence Ferguson, College, Oregon, 6'5", 255. Your thoughts on Terrence Ferguson?
Very good. Had a great year with quarterback Gillian. You know, almost won a national championship. Almost unstoppable on the college level. He's going to be a good pro.
Jake Bringenstool at number 10. He's from Clemson, 6'6", 240. Your thoughts on him?
Pretty good. Pretty good. He had his moments. Clemson don't go to the tight end that much, but when they did, he made the plays.
All right, next we have Jackson Haas. Jackson Haas, number 11, Georgia Tech, 6'5", 260. Your thoughts, Jackson Haas?
Hey, you can't go wrong with a Haas, brother.
That's it. Number 12 is Caden Preexcorn from Ole Miss, 6'6", 255. Ole Miss always, they have that great offense under Luke Kiffin, or Lane Kiffin. I'm sorry, Lane Kiffin. You know, so anybody that comes from them, you know, has a pretty good pedigree. I'm really surprised I don't see Gavin Bartholomew in here. And, you know, he kind of got behind the 8 ball last couple of years. He didn't catch as much as he normally did years ago. And, you know, so I'm just wondering if that's part of the problem there. What do you think about that?
Well, I'll tell you what, he had a good offseason, man.
He
played good.
Yeah.
He did well in the Senior Bowl game.
Yes.
He was a standout at the Combine. I don't know if he participated in Pitt's Pro Day, but I tell you what, man, I like guys that they don't talk about because, hey, in the 5th, 6th, 7th round, man, you can get first, second round talent, man. Let him slip, man. I don't know why. I mean, that guy to me is as good as any tight end in football.
Yes.
I would take him in a minute.
Oh, absolutely. So would I. Yeah, absolutely.
That means he's
so is that today I spoke to somebody at the McDonald's drive-through this morning, and I asked them who they think the Steelers are going to take, and they said the Steelers are going to take a kicker in the first round. So I just want to let everyone know that. So there you go. All right. And by the way, I just got some word. You know, I have friends everywhere, all across the country that cover football and things like that for all the NFL teams, as you see. But I just, my Cleveland Browns connection here, he just texted me, and he said that the Steelers have just given up all their 7-round picks and a 7-round pick for next year for Deshaun Watson. There you go. Steelers solved their quarterback problem. There you go. So, you know. That's, you know what that is? A late April Fool's joke.
I like it. All
right, let's get into offensive tackles here real quick. Or I'm sorry, am I looking at the right one? Yeah, offensive tackles. Will Campbell. Your thoughts on Will Campbell, number 1 in this publication?
He's a beast.
All right. And of course, let me see. Who's he with here? Oh, he's with oh, okay. He's with LSU. Yeah. Anybody that comes out of LSU is a good athlete. Josh Simmons, number 2. Your thoughts on Josh Simmons, offensive tackle?
Another good one. This is a pretty good year for offensive linemen.
Yeah, he's 6'5", 310. He's good height, good weight. Sometimes the height to weight proportion works out. So we'll see what goes on there. I'm looking for all them ones from North Carolina State, like Mason McCormick or some of them other guys. So there you go. All right. Number 3, Texas, Calvin Banks Jr., 6'4", 320. Your thoughts on him?
I would move him inside the guard. He's a good run blocker. Gets off the ball well. But I think, for me, in my publication, I got him as a guard, another tackle.
You know what I like about Minnesota, and we'll tell you coming up at number 5. But number 4 is Josh Connery Jr., Oregon, 6'4", 315. Your thoughts on Josh Connerly? Actually, Fumatu would know something about him, didn't he? Oh, no, he came from Washington. I'm sorry, wrong school. I thought he came from Oregon, our first-round pick. I'm wrong. Sorry about that. But anyway, Josh Connerly Jr., thoughts?
Pretty good player.
All right, here we go. This is why I like Minnesota linemen. 6'6", 330. Your thoughts on Aristide Ursary?
I like him a lot.
I like him because he's big. He's like 6'6", 330, man. Just like Mike Falala. I mean, Steelers blew it on him. They could have had him. They didn't take him. All right, Texas, number 6, another one, 6'5", 335. Your thoughts on him?
Boy, they grow on big in Texas, don't they? Yeah,
here's another one from Texas, number 7, Emory Jones Jr.
Not bad.
6'6", 315. No, not at all. Looks like Texas is the school for offensive tackles. I hope Steve Sarkisian has enough depth in that on the offensive line this year. The way he's losing all these players. So, all right, Purdue, Marcus Embo or something. Number 8, Marcus Embo, 6'5", 300. Your thoughts?
I tell you what, man, another one. Like I said, this is a very deep year for offensive linemen. Too bad the Pittsburgh Steelers are not in the market for one of these guys because
they signed Calvin Washington, who was only in the game for one series for Dan Moore or somebody, and gave up a whole heap and gave up 2 sacks or something like that.
Yeah.
And they gave him a 2-year contract. I mean, I wouldn't give him any contract. Goodbye. All right, unless they're waiting for a wing and a prayer, which means a free agent comes available. You never know. All right, next, number 9, Charles Grant. Here we go. Here's my sleeper pick right here from a college like this. Oh, wait a second. Mike Tomlin's going to take this guy. Charles Grant, guess where he's from, Smokin' Jim? Take a guess.
Where?
William and Mary.
All right. Yeah, we'll take him.
6'4", 300 pounds. You know Mike Tomlin will take him. William and Mary. All right, one of my favorite universities, NC State, Anthony Belton, 6'6", 336. I watched him play. Let me tell you something. This guy can knock people over. This guy is a wall. Anthony Belton. If the Steelers have any half of a brain, if he's available, I would take him. Not in the first round, though. If he's available, like maybe, which I believe they have him going here. Let me see here. Yeah, they have him in the 3rd round. I'd take him. This guy's a beast. So, but your thoughts on Anthony Belton? Yeah, they're Smokin' Jim.
Yeah, sorry about that. Ralph, yeah, I like him as well. I tell you what, this offensive line is is incredible this year. Like I said, it's just too bad for the teams that don't need offensive linemen, because somebody could really get some good ones here.
Well, they got to replace Dan Moore somehow.
Yeah, yes.
And I don't think Broderick Jones is it. So there you go. A Johnny Cornelius, Oregon, 5'15", another Oregon lineman. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the Oregon guys, man. Yeah, they come to play.
All right. Here's another one from a small school. Chase Lunt, UConn, 6'8", 308. Your thoughts on Chase Lunt?
Wow. Little clumsy, tall. But what? He's a giant. He got great size, man.
Oh yeah. Well, he could be another Travis Jones. Come on, end up getting drafted and playing every day. You never know. So
True.
Jack Nelson, Wisconsin. Wisconsin always pumps out good offensive linemen because they like to run the football. So up there, height 6'7", 312. Your thoughts on Jack Nelson? Are you there, Smokin' Jim?
Yeah.
Jack Nelson.
Yeah. Again, look how deep this offensive line goes this year, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Jalen Rivers here from Miami of Florida, 6'5", 325. He's a powerful and versatile guy. So he does. It's pretty good offensive line block for Cam Ward. All right, Ozzie Trapillo from your favorite school, Boston College, Dino Tomlin. Oh, the Steelers will pick him too, because you know why? He's from Boston College and Dino Tomlin played there, so So,
yeah, hey, not bad, bad.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's get into let me see here. What do we got? Okay, let's get into the other parts of the O-line here. I believe we're getting into the guards here. Or no, interior, which is guards and center. Tyler Booker, number one, Smokin' Jim. Your thoughts on Tyler Booker?
Beast.
Yeah, he looks like a beast too, according to what I'm seeing here. He looks like a big-time beast. So, all right, I agree with you on that. I think he'll, he's going to get drafted pretty good here, I believe. They got him in the first round. Tyler Booker, Alabama, 6'5", 325. Armin Membo, Missouri, 6'3", 325. Your thoughts on Armin Membo?
He's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah, Armin Membo. I've not seen this guy, but I know some other people that I've watched and listened to. Some other experts have said this guy's pretty decent, and so we'll see exactly where he goes. Could go in the first round as well. All right, let's see what we got here next. Who's predicted to go in the second round? Only the number 3 here. Donovan Jackson, Ohio State, 6'4", 320. Donovan Jackson.
Oh man, did he have a great year this year?
All right, Jonah Savanaya from Arizona, 6'36". That's my kind of lineman right there. Your thoughts?
It's a man amongst boys.
Oh yeah. All right, here we go. Here's a simple one. Gray Zabel. All right. Guess where he's from? You ready?
Yeah.
North Dakota State. Didn't I tell you one of their linemen would be here sooner or later?
All right.
North Dakota State, 6'6", 305. Your thoughts, Gray Zabel. If he's from North Dakota State, he's the man. So.
Very good player.
Oh, I bet he is. He wouldn't be ranked number 5. Wyatt Millum, West Virginia, 6'6", 317. West Virginia who? Man, I haven't seen that athlete come out of there for a while. West Virginia who? Oh, there we go. Wyatt Millum. So I think this is the guy that played next to Frazier. And Frazier is this guy. I believe this is him right here, this guy, Wyatt Millum. So, oh, he's a good player. Zach Frazier's endorsing him. So Tate Ratledge, Georgia, 6'6", 320. Another Georgia. Here we go. This guy can come in and motivate Broderick Jones. There we go. There we are. How do you like that one? So
I like it. I like it.
I always stick up for the small guy. Jackson Slater, Sacramento State, 6'4", 316. Guess who the new coach is at Sacramento State this year? I believe. I might be wrong, but I think I'm right. I think it's Brendan Marion, the former coach at Pitt, and then he went to UNLV for a couple of years, and now I think he's coaching here. I think so, but yeah, he's a head coach now. Brendan Marion should have been the offensive coordinator at Pitt because he runs that go offense like Cade Bell does. All right, Georgia, another Georgia guy here, Dylan Fairchild, 6'5", 315. Here's another one will come in and motivate Broderick Jones. Steelers will draft him. They like them Georgia linemen. So somewhere.
Yes, sir.
If he's available.
Yes,
Fourth round for this guy. Number 10, Jonah Monheim, USC, 6'5", 310. Jonah Monheim, your thoughts?
Wow. Another big boy.
I hope Georgia has enough depth on the line here. We got Jarrett Wilson, 6'3", 310, Georgia as well. Your thoughts on him? Another one will come in and motivate, so. All right. Number 12, Seth McLaughlin, Ohio State. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim, 6'4", 305, number 12. Smokin' Jim.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Seth McLaughlin, Ohio State, 6'4", 305.
Yeah. You seen him in the national championship games. I tell you what, man, they had two running backs that both are going to get drafted in the first 3 rounds, and just because of that offensive line.
I didn't know you had a relation at LSU. Miles Frazier. LSU, 6'5", 325. Boy, there's a lot of your family all over the place, isn't there?
Yeah. Bring him home. Bring him home.
That's it. All right. Number 14, Carson Vincent. Alabama A&M. This might be a sleeper. 6'6", 305. Huh?
He's a lot bigger than that. I don't know why. He's about 338.
Yeah, they got him here at 305. Yeah.
I think the last guy to get drafted from that program was John Stallworth. So he's getting a lot of ink because they want to really celebrate this. They feel like he's going to get drafted, and I think he will.
All right. This guy transferred from Georgia to get more playing time. Jacksonville State, Clay Webb, 6'3", 310. As you know, if you don't, Richie Rod was the head coach down there. He's now back at West Virginia, Jacksonville State. Your thought on Clay Webb?
I like him.
Yeah, he was a transfer from Georgia, wanted more playing time, so he went down to Jacksonville State. And, of course, he helped out down there. Richie Rod put that program on the map. They won some bowl games down there when he was there. So.
Yes.
All right, let's get into the defense a little bit here. Abdul Carter, edge rusher. Your thoughts, Penn State?
Tell you what, he's probably going to be. A lot of people say he should be the first pick overall, but he'll be one of the top 3 picks. Or number 11 at Penn State, and anybody knows anything about that number was made famous by the kid out of North Hills here. I can't think of his name. That'll be a good pick for somebody.
Number 2, Shamar Stewart. Let me see here. Shamar Stewart is, let me look here real quick. Okay, he's from Texas A&M. There you go, Dan Moore School. There you go. 6'6", 295. Wow, tall kid, lanky kid, but 295. Your thoughts?
Yeah, he's gonna make some money. National Football League, that's for sure.
Yep. Oh yeah. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. He's 6'5", 285. I read that wrong. 6'5", 285. Wow. All right. The next one, Michael Williams. I think I've heard of this kid. 6'5", 265. Georgia. Your thoughts?
He's good. Kind of like a tweener. They don't know if he's going to be an edge rusher or interior lineman, but he's strong. He can play.
All right, James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee, 6'5", 243. Your thoughts, James Pierce? All right, Nick Scourton, Texas A&M, 6'4", 260. Nick Scourton.
You can't beat them Texas A&M boys. I mean, that recruiting class that they had was number one for interior linemen in college football history. So all them guys are available now for the draft.
Yeah, Mike Elko's our coach down there now, and he's tough. You see what he did to the Duke program. So he's down there at Texas A&M now, Mike Elko. So, he's drafting them linemen and all that. Number 6, Mike Green, Marshall, 6'4", 248. I've heard some stories about this guy. What do you think?
Yeah, a lot of people say he's a one-trick pony, but listen, if you got the clay, somebody can mold it. You sometimes in college you don't need, but a certain amount of pass rush. When you get to NFL, you get a little bit more. James Harrison was a one-trick pony his whole career, and nobody could stop him. So sometimes being a one-trick pony ain't bad.
No, it's not. And unless you're desperate and you really need to play it, you might want to get into some other way. State, 6'5", 260. Jack Sawyer.
Another good one.
The Steelers will draft an edge rusher. They always do. You know that. Ohio State, number 8. JT Talamalu, 6'5", 269. Your thoughts?
Very good player.
All right, Kyle Kennard, number 9, South Carolina. I was told by J.D. Wyatt, who we had on the show here to talk about Carolina Panthers. He also covers South Carolina football, and he's a South Carolina player that's going to be in the draft. And he's not saying that because he's a homer. He's saying that they have some really good athletes this year that are underappreciated. Kyle Kennard, your thoughts?
Yeah, I really like him.
All right. Let's see here. Asked about South Carolina. So, all right, number 10, Landon Jackson, Arkansas, 6'7", 280. Your thoughts?
Yeah, very disruptive player.
Princely Umani Milan, Ole Miss, 6'4", 255, if I pronounced his name right.
Yeah, very good player.
All right, Boston College, 6'2", 247, Donovan Isaraku. Don't worry, the Steelers will take him.
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Boston College. Oh, my. All right, Jarrett Ivey, Ole Miss, another one from Ole Miss, 6'6", 285. Your thoughts on this guy?
Well, I tell you, again, like you always say, and you and Claudia always say, you win football games with the offensive and defensive line, and there's some good ones here.
Yeah, absolutely. Jordan Birch, Oregon, 6'6", 295. And so your thoughts on him? And I think we'll be getting to Harmon real soon on the defensive tackles here real soon if we get through with this before our time is up. But your thoughts on him?
Yeah. Very good. Like him.
All right, Josiah Stewart, Michigan. The players come out of Michigan, well, except for Devin Bush, of course. 6'1", 245, Josiah Stewart. Your thoughts? Or Josiah?
No undersized. They want to move back to get a look at linebacker, but a little undersized at 6'1", 245 for the interior line.
All right, Ashton Gillott, almost like Gillette, but Gillott. Louisville, 6'3", 275. Your thoughts on him?
Pretty good.
Looks like they got a lot of edge rushers in this draft this year, Smokin' Jim.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Number 17, Braden Swinson, LSU, 6'4", 250. LSU always puts out good talent, you know.
Yeah. But again,
All right.
between it all.
Here's a sleeper. David Walker, Central Arkansas. Okay, 6'2", 260, projected to go in the 5th round. Your thoughts on David Walker? What do you think?
Yeah, a little undersized, but yeah, should be pretty good.
I've seen this guy play when Syracuse played Pitt. He's not bad. Fadil Diggs, Syracuse, 6'5", 261. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I like him too. A little undersized, but
he's got a motor on him, though. He's got a motor.
Yes, he does. Yes,
I've seen him a lot in the quarterback area, so he's got a, you know. Tyler, well, of course, Pitt's offensive line was makeshift this year, so there's another story. But anyway, Tyler Barron from Miami, Florida, 6'5", 260. Tyler Barron, number 20.
Very good.
All right. All right, let's see who we got next here. Okay, let's look at defensive linemen. Here we go. Steelers need to be looking at this. You know, they need some big-time help there. So, you know. All right, Mason Graham, Michigan, 6'3", 320, rated number 1 in this publication. You go. Go ahead.
I tell you what, man, he's a game changer. I've seen him run running back down from behind. He's a hustler. He's big, strong. One of them guys you just pencil in, can't miss being a Pro Bowler.
All right, Derek Harmon, Oregon. Steelers are looking at this guy, I've been told. Your thoughts?
Yeah, very good. Very good.
All right, hang on a second here. Let's see. We got a comment here in the comment section. Let's see what we got here. Hey, how you doing there? All right, Stripes Media. Tiger Stripes. Hey, all right, Tiger Stripes Media. That's my man. How you doing there, buddy? All right. I'm doing good. Thank you. Say hello to Tiger Stripes. It's in the comment section. There you go.
All right, Tiger.
Yep. All right, number 3, Kenneth Grant. We already spoke about him earlier. Your thoughts on Kenneth Grant? Another one from Michigan.
Yep. Another one. Can't beat him.
No, not
Can't
at all.
beat him, bro.
Not at all. Can't beat him at all. Walter Nolan, Ole Miss. Another one from Ole Miss. 6'3", 305. Lane Kiffin got some defensive building to do.
Yeah, big voice.
Tyleek Williams, Ohio State, 6'3", 327. What do you think of this guy?
Wow. Beast. No doubt about it.
Oh, he is. He looks like one, too. Steelers need to get themselves a natural nose tackle. That's what they need to do.
Yeah.
They haven't had one since Casey Hampton. So, you know. And, you know, so anyway, let's see who we have next here. All right. Deion Walker. All right, Deion Walker. I think it's Deion Walker. Yeah, if I'm seeing it correctly. Kentucky, 6'6", 305. Your thoughts on Deion Walker?
Wow. Yeah, you guys feel like he's going to be the defensive end in the National Football League.
All right, here's a guy that the Steelers are looking at, but he's projected to go in the 2nd round. Steelers were looking at him. They have a 1st-round grade on this guy. I seen him in the playing the Pitt Bowl game. He's a beast. 6'4", 310. Darius Alexander, Toledo. I don't think he's a 1st-round pick, Smokin' Jim. What do you think? They have him here for the 2nd round.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Alfred Collins, number 8, College, Texas, 6'5", 320. Your thoughts on this guy? I hear he's it says good luck moving this guy anywhere or for an offensive lineman. Good luck. I like that one. Good luck. You know, so Omar Norman Lott, Tennessee, 6'3", 315. There we go.
Wow. Yeah, even bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Is that any relation to Ronnie Lott?
Probably.
All right, here we go. Another one from South Carolina. TJ Sanders, 6'4", weight 290. Your thoughts, TJ Sanders?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he sounds like he's interesting here. Shamar Turner, Texas A&M. There you go. Your favorite school with your man Dan Moore there. 6'4", 309. Shamar had a good year with Mike Elko down there. Because Mike Elko's a tough guy. I mean, you know. Look what he did for Duke. Turned Duke into some kind of a football, a little bit of something. You know what I mean? You know. All right, number 12, Jordan Phillips, Maryland. 6'3", 320. Jordan Phillips. Number 13, Joshua Farmer, Florida State, Smokin' Jim. 6'3", 318. Your thoughts on him?
I like him.
Ty Hamilton, Ohio State, at number 14. 6'3", 285. Or 295. I'm sorry, 295. Ty Hamilton.
Well, he's had an up and down career, but he definitely got the size to make a difference.
Yeah, Steelers need to get some big guys in there, some guys with some talent. Because what they got now really stinks. Oh, my gosh. Nazir Stackhouse, Georgia, 6'3", 320. Your thoughts on that?
Wow, big Georgia boy. Yeah, he's disruptive.
Ty Robinson, Nebraska, 6'6", 310. Nebraska always has good defensive linemen. Well, some of them. So, you know, the ones that we drafted didn't do well. So, you know. What was it, Carlo? What was the name of that one? The Carlos. What the heck was his name? I can't remember off the top of my head. Anelius, number 17, Anelius Peebles, Virginia Tech, 6'1", 290.
Big boy, nice size for a nose guard.
Oh yeah. Vernon Broughton, Texas, 6'4", 305. Vernon Broughton.
Yeah, got to love him.
All right, Oregon, Jamari Caldwell, 6'1", 340. Oh, that's my kind of lineman there. There we go. There we are. We need somebody like that. Clog the hole up. So, yeah. Clog up the running holes, you know. So
that's right.
Ole Miss, number 20, J.J. Pegues. I heard he's not too bad. J.J. Pegues. Your thoughts on him? Your thoughts on him, Smokin' Jim? Are you there? You there, Smokin' Jim? You there, Smokin' Jim?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yep, like him.
J.J. Pegues. Your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I like him.
All right. Okay, we've gone through enough for the draft right now. We got about 12 minutes left in the broadcast. What's going on with you? What do you want to talk about? Anything before we go?
Hey, whatever you want to talk about, brother's good with me.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay. I'm sorry. What was that?
Yeah, whatever you want to talk about is good with me.
No, you know, what do you think? What do you think the Steelers are going to do in this draft? I mean, your own personal opinion.
Flop.
No, yeah.
I
Another
think
flop.
Again, we always say it's not what you do, it's what you have to redo. Since they blew it by taking a quarterback in the first round, now they got to take another quarterback probably in the first round, either this year or next year.
Right.
So there's some holes. I mean, the Steelers got a bunch of talent. They got a bunch of pieces of the puzzle, but they're missing some important pieces, and they should have shored it up in free agency, where it's a pretty much guaranteed because
Right.
you know what a guy can do on a professional level. Now they got to take a chance on drafting, and they're not a good drafting team.
Absolutely. You know it. All right, Smokin' Jim, since we really don't have much else to talk about and we've worn out the draft a little bit, I do want to say my condolences to the family of Ray Shero, former GM of the Penguins, died 62 years old just recently, was a good general manager when he was here, did what he had to do, and he moved on, and he did pretty good. He seems like he did good everywhere he went, Smokin' Jim. But Ray Shero, not a bad GM. He was the GM for the 2009 Stanley Cup run that the Steelers, or excuse me, the Penguins had. And of course, you know my feelings about the Pirates. The Riverhounds are, they're not doing too bad. I think they've won their last 2 games. So, you know, other than that, you got Passion Football coming up and a whole lot more. Your thoughts, Smokin' Jim, on what's coming up. And I will see you Saturday. It was interesting that we get to talk together today 2 times in one day. That's a rare occurrence, but 2 times in one day. So, you know, we get to talk to one another. We spoke earlier today, and then today we're here now. So, you know, but anyway, don't forget also on Saturday, 2 to 3 p.m., the Sports Corner radio show, and that's with me, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree. We also have, that's on 1250 a.m. The Answer, 92.5 on the FM dial, the Sports Corner radio show. Also, I wanted to say I have something going on right now. It's called the Ralph Report, but I have it in 3 different ways. The Ralph Report Sports Edition, the Ralph Report, just a general topic thing, and also the Ralph Report Wrestling Edition, where I'll come on for about 5 minutes and talk about something in wrestling, sports, and general topics, real quick video. Do it all the time. You never know when I'm going to come on. It's the element of surprise as well. So just want to let everyone know about that. And also don't forget Saturday morning, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. On 1250 The Answer as well. The Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. as well. And also don't forget about our Sports Corner show. We'll be on Tuesday. I'll have some new guests on talking about the draft, trying to get somebody from every NFL team if I can do it.
Hey, Ralph.
Go ahead.
Can you give us some, because that Ralph Williams show is great. Can you give us some highlights of that Ralph Williams show?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about city politics like we always do. We'll be taking your emails and the polls. The show poll that we have right now, we have Tony Moreno up 250 votes to Corey O'Connor's 150, and Ed Gainey's creeping around at 50, and then we have Anthony Coghill. He's at 40. So, you know, that's the polls we have going on right now. We talk about local issues, mostly about the city of Pittsburgh, the mayor's race, and also some other issues, Nippon Steel, to deal with U.S. Steel, and a whole lot more. The Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show every Saturday. Working on getting a guest on, as I always try to do. Last couple of weeks, we haven't due to scheduling conflicts, but I'm working on a couple guests as well. We talk about the transit situation going on, a whole lot more on the Ralph Williams, Tony Moreno show, only local live show on a Saturday morning. There you go. So there you are. Talk local affairs. So, all right. And also don't forget tonight at 9:15 tonight, I will be on the Fire Up show with Candy Ebling from the South Florida Tribune, and also whoever we have on with us, but it'll be myself and Candy, and usually it's a variety of guests depending on who she decides to have on.
Candy's a female.
Yes, it's Scott Morganroth's wife from the South Florida Tribune. Yeah, we've had Scott on. He was on with us on Beaver County Radio talking about Jacksonville last year.
Yeah, I know Scott. So does she do a good job?
She does a great job. You should check us out tonight, 9:15 on YouTube, Facebook, and YouTube, Facebook, and it also gets uploaded on the Spreaker Radio and a few other outlets as well, iHeartRadio. And she also does a show with some other females. It's called the Chicks and Salsa and Three Chicks in a Pod. That's a good show. Them women, they talk some great sports topics and everything. So, you know.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, she does a really good job. She does. So, you know, and I'm every Saturday. Last Saturday we were not on because her and Scott traveled to Tampa to go check out the Final Four, the women's Final Four. As you saw the picture of Scott and Leo, you know. So, and Scott and Leo will be joining me on Saturday as well. Both Leo Haggerty and Scott Morganroth will join me, and we'll have some guys on. We always have some kind of special guest of some sort that comes on that we decide to have on. Here's the Sports Wrap Show, 9 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, X platforms, Huddle Sports Network, and also on the also in the South Florida Tribune Network. And I want to thank everyone today for watching, because Smokin' Jim, we had a big, huge audience today. Huge audience today. So I want to thank everyone for that.
Great to hear.
Oh,
Great
yeah,
to hear.
always is, yes. And Ryan Pettit, we've had him on the show. He'll be on there as well on Saturday on the Sports Wrap Show. Brian Pettit, he has his own podcast. He does some things as well. And so Brian will be on. We'll be talking on the Sports Wrap Show this Saturday. The NCAA championship games and a whole lot more all coming up this Saturday on the Sports Wrap Show, 9 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter X platform, South Florida Tribune, and the Huddle Sports Network. For Smokin' Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. Join us next Thursday for another special edition of the Sports Corner show, where we'll be talking about the NFL draft, and I'll have some more guys that cover different NFL teams. And then April 22nd will be our final show. We'll be back on May the 13th is when we'll be back for the Sports Corner show after April 22nd, 2 days before the draft. And don't forget Draft Nation, who's sponsoring they're having a draft show coming up on April 24th at the Rivers Casino here in Pittsburgh. Stop by. Starts at 8 o'clock. Get your tickets to draftnation.com. They're going to have their draft show there. Myself, Ralph Williams, Smokin' Jim Frazier, Claudia Rosano, and Luther Dupree, the whole crew from the Sports Corner Radio Show will be there. Stop by, say hello. And don't forget to, we'll be at the Rivers Casino up in the ballroom, up on the second floor, right past the former Grandview buffet, which I believe they still haven't filled that void yet there of that spot. Smokin' Jim, you would know, you're there more than I am, so I don't think they filled it in yet. I don't think anyone's leased a space. Nice buffet, and it went bye-byes, unfortunately, and sad. So, all right, for Smokin' Jim Frazier, I'm Ralph Williams. Have yourself a great night. Thank you, Smokin' Jim, as always. And I will talk to you again on Tuesday, or Saturday. I'm sorry, I will see you Saturday. Have yourself a great one. Thank you. All
Thanks,
right,
buddy.
all right. Oh, by the way, Smokin' Jim. Oh, he already hung up. So, all right. Have yourselves a great night, and please be safe. Thank you.